This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. And the topic of this video is that you are not guaranteed a win in life. Now, I understand that there's times when you put forth your best effort, when you try hard, when you do everything that you can, you put resources into it. You try to get support from outside help, outside people, and it doesn't go through. You try to tell everybody about what it is that you're trying to do, and at the end of the day, it doesn't work. And sometimes that happens in life. There's some like I've known people that have opened up businesses. However, those businesses didn't last. They only lasted for about a couple of months, and then that person had to close that business down because they couldn't keep up with the cost of what it was to run that business because they wasn't getting the support that they needed. Like I knew a laundromat in the neighborhood that I used to live in. A guy, he got out the Navy. He had $10,000 in savings, and he invested in a laundromat, and that laundromat had a lot of issues and problems in it, but he thought that, oh, I would just make the money back from, the revenue that's coming in. But he didn't understand that he had to think about the water bill, he had to think about the gas bill, he had to think about the lights, he had to think about the cost of running the operation, even if there wasn't a lot of people that was coming into that laundromat in order to make his money back. And so after a couple of months, that laundromat closed down permanently. And I remember it was another guy in my neighborhood. He opened up a popcorn shop in a strip mall that it was in a location where you wouldn't know it was there if you was to drive past it. He had some really good popcorn. However, nobody knew about it. The popcorn was kind of expensive, so the people that did know about it couldn't buy it on a regular basis, and it just didn't have the name brand recognition that a company like Garrett's would have. And I don't mean to throw out names like that, but hey, I'm just trying to keep it honest and real. So eventually, that popcorn place closed down because they couldn't keep up with the cost of running it. And even I had a business that I was trying to start, and I didn't have the money to get what it is that I needed, to get the support that I needed, to get the connections that I needed. And eventually, I had to let that idea go. And I'm building up my money currently. So if I do have the opportunity to try to start a business again and understanding the examples that I've just shown, and knowing that is in the back of my mind, I know that if I start a business, I better have some money in the back in order to support that business, even if I'm not getting the revenues that I need to get right away. And that's being smart about it. Now, there are people that are put in a bind that they open up a business and they, boom, they have success. And it happens, and it doesn't happen for everybody, and that's the way that life is. Some people, once they start a business, it just picks up and then they off to the races. Some people, no matter how hard they try to get a business running and upstart it, it just doesn't work. And that's a part of life. You see, it reminds me of back when I was in high school and I was trying to play football, and I would practice really hard. I would practice as hard as I possibly could. I practiced so hard that sometimes the coaches noticed how hard I tried. But after 3 years of trying, my talent level didn't really get better. I wasn't talented enough to keep playing football. And eventually, I had to let that dream go. And it was hard for me to let it go because that's what I really wanted to do, was to be a football player. However, I do have a cousin that was able to make it into the pros. Now, I'm not saying that me and my cousin are close or anything like that, and I'm not even going to mention his name, but I'm proud of him for making it to a level that I could never make. And that's a win for him. And he's on a practice squad, but hey, he's still in the NFL. While somebody like me could only dream about being in the NFL. And at 41 years old, that dream, that ship has sailed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to just realize what happened and just move on with my life as best as I can. And it shows me that sometimes people, no matter what effort they put into it, it's no guarantee that it's going to work out in their favor. Life isn't fair like that. And I've talked about life not being fair before in previous videos. And me talking about that, hey, sometimes no matter how hard you work and no matter how hard you try, you just won't win. That goes with relationships with people, that goes with friendships. Sometimes things can work out for the best, and sometimes it just doesn't. And you have to learn how to accept things for what they are and move on. And eventually, if you work hard enough on yourself and you try hard enough, you will have little successes in life that will equal up to a big success. And that's one way and one path that I'm taking right now, is that I'm looking at all the little small goals that I have. And hopefully in the future, all those little goals that I have will turn into a big goal, and I'll be successful at that. And like, I understand that some people don't have to take that road. Some people take a road and they just boom, automatically become successful. There are people who I practiced with when I was playing football that as soon as they stepped on the field, boom, they already had a starting position. They didn't have to work as hard as I did. And guess what? That's a part of life. But also think about the times when I could have been successful and I didn't take the time to appreciate it, like when I was wrestling in high school and I was good enough to be a captain on the team. But since my mind was so focused on football, I didn't appreciate that win. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, damn, I should have just stuck with the wrestling and just said, forget the football. But you live and you learn. And with that being said, even though you don't win at the things that you want to in life, you have to learn how to appreciate the things that you are winning at. If you're not winning in relationships with women, you have to learn how to appreciate winning with having a roof over your head, with food in your stomach, with having, clothes on your back, having money in the bank, driving a car. Because there's a lot of people out here that don't have those things. Or if they have it, it's in very poor condition. You see, we get into this point to where we try to compare ourselves to other people, and we get into this point of where we're trying to compete with other people. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we have to get to this point. We have to get to the point to where we understand that we are different people from everybody else. We are not meant to try to keep up with everybody else. We're not meant to have what everybody else has. Sometimes we need to be thankful for what we do have. And if we're single with no children at 41, like myself, we have to be thankful that we're single without children at 41, because there are people that have children that can't afford to take care of them. And I'm not one of them. And that's a win. So it's all about your perspective on how you look at things and understanding that, hey, you might not win at this one thing, but you're winning at this thing. And some people wish they were winning at where you're winning at. And there is no guarantees of anybody winning anything in life. And with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman, and I'm out.